In our Commitment 2024 coverage, Vice President Kamala Harris appears to be the presumptive Democratic nominee, with President Biden fully endorsing her to replace him at the top of the ticket this November. Now, the VP has to pick a VP herself. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro among a slew of names being thrown around that could join Harris on the ticket. In fact, vetting materials have reportedly been sent to Shapiro and other politicians, including Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, and more. So, what is that process really like? Well, I'm joined now by Pat LaMarche, the vice presidential candidate for the Green Party in 2004 alongside David Cobb. Pat, thank you so much for being here and providing your unique perspective.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
So Kamala Harris, again, going through this vice presidential vetting process as we speak. As a former VP candidate yourself, tell us a little bit about what that was like.
Well, I mean, I think in all cases, the person who wants to be president, by the way, this is like talking to the AAA ball club about what it's like to play in the major leagues. So it's a bit of a difference. But I think in all cases, the person who would be president wants to make sure that they're going to pick someone who's ethically and philosophically aligned with what they need and want, for their agenda to go forward as hopefully a winning candidate, right? You're hoping you win and you're hoping that your VP supports you.
And when it comes to vetting somebody, picking somebody, do you think it's different in 2024 than it was in 2004 when you went through it?
I think in some ways, probably. I mean, I think that there's nothing like 2024. I don't think that political junkies like many of us have never seen a year like this. So I think in every way, this year's different. I think it's probably a big challenge, maybe to speak more as a female politician than to speak as a VP candidate. I think a lot of the decisions that women make are evaluated and judged differently. So I think that the vice president is up against a lot in the fact that people are making assumptions and generalizations about at least some of her opponents, or all of her opponents are. And she's just got to make the best possible choice she can based on what is best for the United States of America in her mind. And I think that's always been what people should do. And I was honored to be the Green Party candidate VP because I really felt like we were, pursuing what we felt was best for the country. And you want that from every candidate.
Sure. One big difference between 2024 and 2004 is the way people kind of get a lot of their information and social media. There weren't necessarily memes, or at least the same kind of memes in 2004 as there are now. How do you see social media changing this process?
I think it's almost like if we could take it back to 100 years ago, we'd all be sitting in the general store around a potbelly stove and we'd be saying, what do you think? And what do you think? And I mean, even myself in the last week running into friends walking downtown, what do you think about what's going on in politics? But now you can do that with people you haven't seen since high school. And now you can transfer messages with things that you haven't seen since high school. And the problem is, once it's put in print, I'm a journalist right now, and I was before I ran. Once it's put in print, it gets a legitimacy that maybe some of those memes don't deserve. So that's more the problem with the internet and social media is stories can be conveyed that just plain aren't true. And it used to be you'd say, oh, well, that newspaper's a rag, or that newspaper's a tabloid. It's not a real newspaper. But now with what people can do on social media, it's awful hard to tell the truth from the lies.
Yeah, no, it really, really is. So much misinformation out there. Finally, you've said that being a VP candidate changed your life. So now as we wait for an announcement here, possibly it could be Pennsylvania's governor. He's on the list. Tell us about how it changed your life in that way.
Well, I was from Maine originally, and when I ran for vice president, I had worked in the media, and my major concern was poverty. So when I agreed to run for vice president, I had an inkling I might not win. I knew it was probable. So I wanted to do something about the people I really cared about. And I stayed in homeless shelters around the country while I ran for vice president. It was the only national media we got was me staying in homeless shelters. And after I was done, I wrote a book about it. A minister in Carlisle, Pennsylvania read that book, called me up, asked me if I wanted to come work with people experiencing homelessness in central PA. And I came down here, and for the better part of a decade, I worked in homeless shelters down here. So it has absolutely changed my life. It's enlightened me. It's broadened my perspective. And running for vice president gave me an opportunity to really personally touch the people I cared about and learn so much more about them.
Absolutely. Well, Pat LaMarche, again, vice presidential candidate for the Green Party back in 2004. We really appreciate you joining us today. It's been fascinating speaking with you.
My pleasure. Thank you.